Hello, Angel.
How are you doing?
Good, good.
Yeah,
Uh,
pretty good.
Oleg was saying that the game rules are pretty easy to follow, and I completely agree.
Yeah, like
Mhm.
mostly the like the master of ceremony to know things.
Yeah, yeah, true enough.
Roll
Right.
with this, roll with this, and then something happens.
I'm a really bad gamer. This is my character sheet right now.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like.
Yeah, wait until I show you my MC notes.
Oh, that's right. I'm
Don't
surprised.
show it. Don't show it. Man.
That's right.
Let me see. I have so many.
I think that what we are not seeing in front of him is this huge mess
Yeah,
of gaming
that's
things.
right.
Oh, absolutely everything. But what you see right now is chaos.
That's
Like,
right. Right.
Yeah.
That's absolutely true.
He framed perfectly the square.
That's right.
of,
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
That's the secret.
Master of
That's the
order back
secret.
here. Yes.
If he would move his camera, there would be like sticky notes on his wall, probably with threads.
I have a few there.
Yeah, be careful.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. We have yeah. Okay. So Dagny, Peter, and Alastor,
Hello.
and
Yeah,
a
that's
bunch
us.
of NPCs. Nice.
Mhm.
Cool. Let me get. Well, let me get my MC moves handy as well. Before we start, something we didn't do last session is kind of important is talk about security. It's a game that deals with all kinds of like feelings and insecurities and so on, difficult stuff, which we want to explore, but want to be comfortable doing it. So one thing that I always like is to talk about maybe using some security tools in the table. I don't know if you are familiar with things like Xcard or well, veils and lines, which I think Ron may be familiar with.
Yeah, I know what is X card, but usually when I play, we basically before campaign starts, we talk what we would like not to see. So
Yeah, that's cool as well. We could talk, for example, we could do the lines of veils thing, which is you may say things that you don't want to see at all, like you don't want them to appear during the game at all, and that's like a hard line.
Yeah. Things
Or
you don't want
you-
to happen.
Yes, exactly.
Right.
Or things that may happen in game, but you just don't want to go into details. So that's a veil that whenever that happens, we move forward. We don't go into details wherever.
So, yeah. Did that make sense?
Yeah, makes
Yeah,
sense.
yeah.
But I cannot think of something.
Well, we I tend to be a little bit like you. I'm willing to go almost anywhere with the game, but I also like to remember that I am playing a game which I wanted to have the most emotional impact rather than anything else. So I tend to play it in a way that has the most impact and not the way that just describes and describes and describes. But I have a suggestion that's kind of maybe we should call it the gray card.
Okay.
I actually prefer it a lot. And it's what the lines and veils were kind of supposed to mean, which is that if somebody is starting to describe something that you either, I mean, it's easy if you just don't want to see it. It's okay if the other character does this thing, you just don't want to hear descriptions, right?
Yeah,
And that's okay. You can say, let's draw the veil, right? Let's just
Yeah, absolutely.
That's fine.
yeah,
And that's
it
really
just
easy.
happened. Yeah,
Yeah, and that's really easy. Lines are harder because I don't like to agree on them beforehand because people always make them too narrow.
yeah.
So
yeah,
I
like
tend to.
we
That's
usually-
why Um,
I'm
what?
sorry, Oleg, maybe Oleg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we usually do something like, when you have like player that is not comfortable, like think main thing is rape.
Right.
It's what gives like people uncomfortable, like hearing but there, like I heard session where people like characters were doing this and it was like no, people were feeling uncomfortable and they were still other people were still doing it. So that's
Right. That's
why
what.
some
Yeah.
people are good.
Yeah.
Some things are good to discuss.
Yeah, I agree.
So
Yeah.
what I usually do is basically a combination of Fade into Black, which is what Ron was talking about, and the X card. So if during play something comes out that you don't mind that it's happening, but you don't want to go into detail, you say, "Hey, can we fade to black?"
Yeah.
And we move on. And
Mhm.
if something like that you just don't want to happen at all, that you cannot take it for whatever reason, that we could have the X card for that if you want. It's never obligatory.
Yeah, what I meant by the gray card was to say that we just be ready to say, "Wow, that's too much for me," a little bit. That's too much for me, and then the story can, go somewhere else instead and not have that happen. Um,
Mhm.
but I guess I'm saying that in a game like this, which
Mhm.
is all kinds of things at once, it is
Yeah.
immaturity, it is monstrosity,
Mhm.
and it's to a large extent it's queer, and I mean that in a
Mhm.
good way.
Mhm.
All of these things together means that the content could go places that work really well and maybe emotionally very powerful,
Mhm. Mhm.
but really also very horrifying.
Mhm.
So I don't know. Maybe we will have the nicest ice cream game of Monsterhearts ever. I don't know. But just
Ice
in
cream.
If that happens, I'm probably not doing my
That's
job
right. Yeah,
right.
Angel leaves. You guys aren't doing this right. But the thing I'm saying is that I mean, I'm ready to say sometime, oh, that is not where I'm going to go, or I don't want us to go there. But you know what? This is Monster Hearts. I'd rather
Yeah.
go and find that than agree on it first. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Does that make sense?
I
But
prefer
I'm
that
ready
as
to
well.
say it if I have to, and I'm ready to respect it if anybody else does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
So
think the most important thing is that we recognize that we are willing to allow other people to say that and to
absolutely, yeah,
respect other people's boundaries.
yeah,
So and always like just talking about it
yeah,
is available at all times.
sure.
Okay, so yeah, I think with that out of the way, we can pretty much start playing with something I do want to do because yesterday was last week was very chaotic with all the character creations. Do a little recap of characters
Okay.
for my own sake as well. So let's start with the main characters, kind of as a quick reintroduction, really quick. For example, we have Dagny, which is the ghoul of the group. Something quick about you.
Yes, Dagny has been changed from a fairly mild young woman into now she is returned for her second year in high school, and something seems to be a little wrong with her. She's emotionally detached, but she also does unpredictable things, and I would say people, maybe even just during the last session, are
Mhm.
just beginning to notice that.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
so yeah, now I get. This is one of those. She went on holidays, and when she came back from summer, she was
That's right.
completely different.
Right,
Yeah, yeah,
right,
yeah.
right.
Nice.
Exactly. Mhm.
Yeah, the
Okay.
experience is changing people.
Cool. So we also have Peter or Petra.
Piotr.
Yeah,
Piotr.
you
Peter,
can.
the vampire.
I actually checked it, and it should be like Peter. Yeah, like Petersburg, let's say. Yeah, like
Peter. Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So that's
Okay.
more Russian style. Okay. So yeah, I'm a vampire. I'm pretty cold guy. Focus on his arts, and like not too much like comfortable with direct interaction with people, like because I'm afraid I will hurt them when they will come closer to me.
Nice.
So yeah, I try to like keep my like my darker self at bay.
Cool. Great. Nice. And lastly, for the main cast, we have Alastor, the ghost.
Yeah. I am dead.
Yes, you are.
Okay. I am also a lonely character. Actually, I died out of loneliness. I didn't want to share the pain, so I just let myself to die. Poor kid in a scholarship, and now as a ghost, I don't really like interactions with others, but I enjoy observing. Yeah, I can fly through walls.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice thing.
Sure.
And lastly, just a quick recap of the secondary characters, really, really quick. We have Richmond, which is this. He's the son of some wealthy family. He sells rags, particularly to Dagny, as we saw in the last episode. We have Sarah Walker, who's a very good student, very applicated to class, and apparently Peter really likes to watch her. We also have Sheila Solomonda. Yeah. She's the heir of some kind of Ethiopian nobility or rich or super rich family or something like that. Well, he is a transgender man. He has been integrated into the school, but there's maybe some tensions still there. And he plays basketballs. Yeah. I also have a few an interaction with Peter, not a very amicable one,
Right.
I believe.
Yeah.
We have Chaplain Good, who is the
You're still getting used to this guy. I can tell. It's the strangest concept you've ran into.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
All right. That's okay. No, so and the students call him the Rev as a joke,
Rev.
Yeah. And
Yeah, he's around.
Mhm.
He's around and he prays and he's creepy. We have it's not necessarily like there's not necessarily a causality there, okay?
All I can say is this is very typical for private high schools in the United States.
Okay. We have Steven, who is blonde. He's in competition with Sheila, and he also comes with a rich family who has like golf stuff, like golf properties all around the world. And last we have Naomi, who's in third year. She comes from Singapore. She has some kind of shady background. At least her family has some kind of shady background in the past, and she's basically the queen of a school. And she had an interaction with Alastor. They exchanged looks, and there was attention, and even maybe an interest, which was interesting.
Okay.
And the Rev has requested that Dagny come and talk with him in case there's anything that's bothering her.
Yes, well, because may I remind you?
Oh yeah,
he saw,
right.
And I haven't forgotten about that.
Mm-hmm.
I have one thing.
Yeah, sure.
Was it Sheila or Shiva with V?
Good point. I was just right.
My creation was Shiva, but it can be Sheila.
Oh, okay, yeah,
let's stick with the original.
Shiva is fine. It's Shiva is more like metro.
I completely agree. It worked very well for me last time. Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, I have.
So Shiva with V, I think.
Yeah.
My writing is pretty shitty, so yeah, it could be either.
Yeah, like LV.
Okay, so we can start. And I was thinking, since we said that Dagny who was going to visit the ref after class, and we already saw a little bit of the beginning of the class of the school day. Unless there's something specifically you want to do before that, we could start with that scene.
Uh, there
Me?
was something, yeah.
Okay.
There
I
was a
Well,
let
thing
I
on the
was
fence.
yeah, I
you
was
would
jumping
think.
on a fence. I don't know if that's worth a scene particularly, only that it was something she was doing.
Oh, that's
Um,
right. I mean, if it's up to you if you want to have that scene and explore that, yeah, we could do that. See where it goes.
no, I don't think so. I think that that she it's a little unusual to be walking along a dangerous fence, you know, um, but it's not. It's just a little bit of colorful, just a little bit of colorful detail.
Sure.
But so if you want to go to after class,
Yeah, I think we could
okay.
do that. So yes, it is the end of the school day. I imagine so most students go now to do extracurricular activities, to do
Hmm.
sports and that kind of stuff. But you at least today have a special meeting with the ref. I imagine he has some kind of room somewhere in a chapel, maybe.
There is a chapel, and it's a rather nice building that's not right in the middle of everything. It's more toward the front of the school,
Hmm.
and it looks like a little church. It's surrounded by beautiful pine trees, so it's like a little church in woods. And it is what Americans call non-denominational, which well, but it's deceptive. It doesn't mean interfaith. It doesn't mean all religions. It just means that the Christian religion is not named. So
Mm-hmm.
so it doesn't have any crosses. It doesn't have any special special logo, but inside it has the traditional design of the benches, the pews, and a little place to stand up there, and like a little stage. And it's nice, it's cozy. You go in and it's a nice place. It smells good,
Okay,
you know. It's a little
sure.
dim and relaxing.
So
um,
it's not branded, but it has all the franchise equipment.
Right, right,
Sure.
exactly. Yeah. And
Uh,
so if he wants to talk to you, you go there and you just sit in some of the benches together, the pews, and talk.
so yeah, I think when you arrive, uh, he's waiting by the in one of the in the first row
Right.
of the benches. Yes, looking at the and a nice, beautiful crystal window,
Right.
color window that is there.
And sure, they can have that window, but it won't have a picture though.
Sure.
Right. It's just a design. So so sure, Dagny will come in. I come in, and I'll look around as if I had never been here before.
Hmm.
And I'll actually look around, and then I'll kind of, as I'm walking in, I'm kind of nod, like, okay, so this is what it's like exactly. And uh and so I'll sit down. Looks like I'm doing exactly what I'm told. I'm sit down on the same pew as he is sitting, and I'll look forward. I'll just sit down, and I go
Uh,
almost dead, almost lose my affect.
hmm. I think he's still not directly addressing you, but he says to you, uh, so I've noticed you've gone through some changes since you came back from summer.
And uh, Dagny waits too long, to answer.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe
In
just
which,
before he starts to speak,
uh-huh.
then she says, I've already talked to the school nurse. She's implying that he means something biological.
Yes,
Yeah. Um,
to the
Oh.
school nurse. I was just. Are you feeling sick?
just, no, no, I'm saying that if you want to talk about womanly changes or something like that, maybe the chapel isn't the right place. I've already talked to the nurse.
No, no. Of course not. I'm well aware that's not my specialty. No, I was meaning more behavioral changes. I don't believe you were engaging in such conducts as the ones I saw you in last year.
You
Is
see
that
how I
something
you
new?
see how I just looked away and was kind of looking over here, right? That's what I'm doing. Dagny's just looking away and looking over here, and then she'll just kind of look right back at him, as if she, oh, you were talking, kind of look and
Mhm.
and looks and says, "Don't you get hungry sometimes? Don't you need anything?"
Well, yes, precisely. That's what I'm talking about. This need of you. I believe it's quite new.
I'm going to use a move.
In that case, you need to tell me what you're going to do.
I do. And I'm going to describe the death of a girl. I'm going to say, I'll start with just she.
Hmm.
She said, she was torn apart when the cars hit each other. Torn apart so the pieces of her body, like she could see them. But it took her an hour to die there in the car. And she will continue with like clinical details of exactly what it felt like to know that you have seen your body, felt your body ripped apart, and you're looking at the pieces, but for some reason your brain is not letting go.
Mm.
And she says it she couldn't believe how long it took. Maybe it's like that for everybody who dies, everybody who they say, oh, she's gone, like in the movies. She's not. She's not.
I think
This
he
I'm
starts.
mhm.
Yeah, I think I'm aware. I more or less. Well, tell me the technical details, but I cannot remember. He gets a condition or something like that.
Actually, yes, I'm going to give him the condition morbid, and
Morbid.
I can roll to use. I can use colds to turn him on,
Oh, interesting.
which is what
Yes,
I'm about to
yes.
do.
Hell yes.
Hmm. So I have just caused a little trouble, which is good.
Oh
Um,
yes.
so am I ready?
Yeah,
For,
yeah, yeah, yeah. Absolutely.
ah, not so bad, not so bad. Well, I roll a 6, but with my +1, I get a 7, which
Nice.
is not as
Nice.
nice as the 10 that I wanted, but it is. You may. I don't know what my. I don't have the move in front of me. So,
Mhm.
which is, I know, Vincent and Avery have designed these games so that I can have the rule right here and you don't have to worry about it. But too bad.
Okay. Do you remember the name of the move?
It's
No.
it
Okay.
was newly rewritten for the second edition. It's pretty obvious to find.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I get it. So he gets the condition morbid, and then you go roll turn it on.
Mhm.
Right.
Mhm,
Okay.
mhm.
Okay. Interesting.
So no matter what, they always turn morbid.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know?
Okay. So I have to choose for him. He can either give you a string or choose one of the reactions. And I think you see him shivering, like clasping in his hand his cross. And when you look at him, you think he's terrified, that that he cannot take those images. But when you look closely at his face, you see that although there's something like terror there, there's also a smile, like a sense of triumph and desire. Like he
Well,
has found something he has been looking for, and he tells you,
Mhm, mhm.
and he says to you, "Well, fear no more, my child. You'll be taken care of. Everything, all your needs will be taken care of." And he looks at you.
This is the first time that she's really making eye contact with anybody.
Okay.
That kind of eye contact, right? And
Yeah.
and her mouth kind of sags open, right? So it's at the moment she is uh she's in the grasp of her hunger, right?
Hmm.
And she comes really close to his face, like right next nose to nose, and says, "I know." Says, "We'll have some fun." And then she just gets up, turns her back, and walks straight out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. When she walks like through the door, she passes Peter. She like coming to the chapel. He's pretty religious guy, as an
Interesting.
Orthodox.
Right?
Yeah, he's just going there. I will maybe
have a nice time with Reverend with the Rev.
I think
Yeah.
if you look into the chapel, well, are you going to say
So
something
weird.
to him, or you just like cross
No,
paths?
I'll blow past him, and in fact I'm going to the last image you see of her from the back,
Mhm.
because she's got time now to make her field hockey practice,
Mm-hmm.
is with her holding the field hockey stick over her head, like a as she's going off to go to practice now. So,
Okay.
Nice.
yeah.
And
He just over.
and you, Peter, if you look inside the chapel, you see the reverend there, and he seems to be like really tense, like he's closing his hand so hard that you see blood dripping out of it.
Ooh.
He seems to be either terrified or excited or both.
I freeze in the door,
Fantastic.
and I was not expecting that totally.
You were trying to get away from all that shit.
Yeah.
I think he hears you in the door, unless you are like trying to be really sneaky.
No. I was like casually walking inside. I freeze and I just.
He turns around and sees you, and he's like, "Oh, my child. I'm sorry. This is nothing, just a scratch. Were you looking for something?
Uh, no, I was as usually just what
Well,
just
don't stand there. You
I,
can come in if you want. This is a place open for
I,
everyone.
I okay, and I just like walk like if he was standing in the middle, yeah, of between the rows, yeah, like in a path, I just walk
Right
on
around.
like the
Yeah,
benches, yeah.
as far away as you possibly can.
Yeah, as far away from him. Father, I came here for
You see that
pray.
he's sweating right now. Uh,
I try not to look at him. Yeah, I'm like turning my head and just trying to take like the one of the like front, like second to the front, yeah, bench, like and like to the edge, far further from him, and just like trying to focus on pray.
yeah.
Ooh.
Thank you, English.
Well said.
uh,
Like on
I
the
think
upshot, and I'm asking to give me a strength, like in my inner talk, like let's say, give me
yeah,
strength not to get me, be seduced by my,
your
dark,
hunger.
yeah, my thirst.
You can hear his heartbeat
Yeah.
completely out of control. He's uh, he's not paying attention to you at all. He's distracted, trying to calm himself,
Yeah.
helpless.
I I I I don't know. I try with my with all my guts to resist, but it's really strong. The
Would you say that you are trying to keep your cool?
Yeah, I would say that.
That case, roll 2d6 and add cold. Yeah, cold. Yeah.
Wow. It's 10.
Ooh.
Oh, okay, nice.
I was gonna say, are we gonna lose the rev this early?
All my plans.
I know. I was gonna say I worked on that guy for a little bit there. Don't drain him yet. But that's fantastic.
Cool guy.
Yeah, I love it though. I mean, I actually really
Yeah.
like this. I want to see what happens. Let's play. I really want to hear this.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm focusing on my thoughts, on my on my praise, and
So I think you do manage to keep control. What is the thing? What is the image or the idea that keeps you under control? What are you thinking right now that is stopping you?
I think it was easy for me here in the chapel, like when I can like feel a strong connection to beliefs, let's say, and I feel like someone is helping me to be stronger, to keep my mind on not on to keep my, I don't know how you say that, it's volatile. So like let's like say my like, how would you say that, like when someone's brutal and like volatile, yeah. So like to keep it at bay, yeah, and
Yes.
like focusing,
Yeah, that's exactly right.
focusing on here it was easy, let's say here
Yeah,
when I'm doing what actually brings me to peace, yeah, to my, so maybe that's why it was like I could handle it.
that makes total sense. And also because you have reached, you have managed to keep your mind cool and evaluate the situation. You can ask me a question about the situation, and if you act upon that question, if you act using that information I give you, you have one plus 120 roll you do.
I don't know what happened here. Is that a good question? Why was he so like stressed when I came here? Or it's not connected? Because I need to feel that I am playing, first time this kind of.
Uh,
I'm too
he
much into dungeon world, so that's why I'm asking what happened.
sure. So I don't just want to tell you like what.
Or maybe easier, like when I was listening to his heart, so what were his feelings like?
Sure.
What he is feeling right now?
Well, I think when you look into him, and this may have some kind of supernatural component out of
Sure.
your. You detect a thirst of a kind different from yours.
Hunger, yeah, like more like hunger or
Hunger, yes, or thirst or need for something, and and it's not completely human, and he appears to have been that hunger appears to have been aroused recently. But he's not a vampire, and he's not like other things you have seen before.
Okay, you just like okay, I get it. At this moment, I cannot focus on that. I need to still be focusing on my praise because the thirst is still there. So I'm doing what I'm doing normally. Like I came here now and then to just pray and find strength.
Sure, and the Reverend will leave you at peace. He will not bother you, and you may continue praying as long as you want.
Mm-hmm.
In the meantime, I want to see what Alastor is doing. What does Alastor usually do out of class when classes end? What do you usually do? Do you like go around stalking people? Do you have some kind of activity?
I like going around, but not really going around, not like walking around, but being around, watching, observing. I found out, Argyris found out that I really like helping people, but without them noticing. In a way, it gives meaning to my existence. Plus, it helps me avoid a kind of need that I have to be invisible. So when I have the feeling that I can see something that I could solve, it's like intriguing, and I'm very interested in solving problems.
Sure.
From stupid problems to even mathematical problems, like just the idea of solving something. Yeah.
Sure. So I think I think you're at this point you are possibly working around kind of the sports area. Kind of where all the football fields and soccer fields. I don't remember which one is the British one. Where sports fields are there, and the basketball field where right now the students are playing, are practicing, are doing possibly a practice match. And you see a face that you probably recognize. You see Shiva, and she's When you see her, she has the ball in his hands, and he's trying to go around to escape over this guy. I think it's Steven.
Steven.
Yeah. They seem to be like everyone is observing like this is a thing that sometimes happen, like these two go against each other, and you see, yeah, and you see Shiva trying to avoid this guy to get to the thing,
To the basket.
to the basket.
Yeah.
So she takes the ball and does like a sneaky move, but this guy, instead of just blocking, and you can see this from your perspective. Everyone in the team is around, but you see how this guy basically push him like very strongly with his shoulder when he's trying to go around, and throws him at the ground.
Mm-hmm.
And he falls pretty roughly.
Yeah. This is request to play for me, right?
I mean, if you want to. Yeah, what do you do?
Personally, in this situation, I am trying to see through Steven.
Mm-hmm.
I don't buy it that he's just competitive in that thing. I don't think he's pushing because this is what the opponent will do. Like it's the ball or you, not both. So am I allowed to say what I see?
There's a role for that, right? To suss out, to check out the situation.
I don't think so. I don't think there's one in this game for that specifically.
No.
I can just tell you what you get.
Maybe staring into Abyss because he's using some dark powers to get some additional information.
I mean,
true. Wow.
Yeah, if you are, that actually fits. If you are like doing
it's not normal perception. Yeah, I get
yes.
that.
Yeah. If that makes sense for you, that's what you're doing. Alastor?
I get it. You use the phrase that's special for this character, right? To see through him.
Yes,
right?
Yes.
That when you said that, I reacted, inside.
Yeah, that makes total sense. Like, yeah, this is you looking into him below the surface, which most people are not able to do. In that case, you roll 2 dice, 2 d6, and add whatever you have in dark.
And I have volatile -1 and dark 1.
Dark 1.
Dark 1, sure. So roll 2d6.
I don't know how to count this.
That's okay. When you roll the 2 dice,
yes,
then you will just add these numbers together.
Okay.
And then you will add one more.
-1 + 1, I have 0.
Well, hold on. No. If you roll the 2 dice, you are going to get 2 numbers.
Yes.
You will add them together.
Add them both.
Yes, both of them.
The 2 dice. Okay.
Then, so the least you
roll 2 dice and tell us the result. We will help.
Right. And then you put 1 more because of your dark is 1.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's people who play role-playing games have a specialized vocabulary and they forget that.
Yeah, sorry.
No, it's fine. It's like educational for me. Yeah. Just.
That's a nice way of saying you're explaining things bad, but I'm going to be.
No.
I don't mind.
So.
So you're using a online device now?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That's fine. But what do the 2 dice say?
It's rolling now. Your result 4, 6, 10.
Oh, nice. That's 11 in total.
11,
So then you get
so
11.
Yeah.
Because you have dark of 1, so you put 1 more on top.
Okay, so 11.
Perfect. You're done.
That's a success.
In this game, 10 or better is total success.
Okay.
Right.
I remember the other time I had 9, I think.
Right. Now,
Yeah.
just to remember a little bit, in the very first roll that I made, do you remember last time when I was trying to intimidate the guy at the
You had 6.
That's right.
Yeah.
And a
Yeah.
6, if you get 6 or below, then it's pretty terrible. So
Mhm.
that's why Angel created a social crisis for me.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, I wasn't too bad last time. I was more like
I was
setting
I
up
was going to
things.
say it was a very gentle 6 on him.
Yes,
Yes.
Soft move.
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
very much.
Yeah.
Announcing
But
future badness and all that.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So
Uh,
excellent. No more. I don't want to explain more. Let's go. What does he see on him?
um, I think what you see, um, you look into this guy's mind. I imagine you don't. What you see is visions, maybe from his memory, from his imagination, from his desires, and uh, you see him uh, like you see him last year. This was last year, and he was the and you see him playing basketball, and everyone is cheering him, and he's like the captain of the basketball team, and everyone loves him. And then you see Shiva arrive, and suddenly he's like the second. He's the no one cares about him anymore, according to the way he sees him. And Shiva is this bright spot that everyone adores, and he sees himself a second to that. So you see this anger that is piling up on him, but it's also mixed with something else. There's this complicated feeling of both hating him but also feeling something for him, like an admiration,
Mhm.
but warmer and more intense. He's very conflicted about it, and that makes him even angrier because he doesn't understand what he's feeling.
Mhm. Mhm.
So yeah, there's all these things going around in his head, and all that manifests in violence, in this kind of violence.
Uh, I'm thinking, just thinking, instead of like Shiva being a new bright spot, like replacing him as the top, if it could be something alternative, something that he cannot realize what it is, but still it is like still in his, I don't know, his, let's say that he was number 1 and there appears something that it is not really the number 1. It is something so different that it just steals everything.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's not that Shiva is better.
Mhm.
It's just that
Shiva
he's
is in reality is a very, very striking and
Mhm.
socially significant person.
yeah.
You know.
He knows that it doesn't really matter if he beats him in basketball. He's
Right.
going to go and have like this amazing life, and he's just going to be some. I mean, in his own mind, even he comes from a rich family, he's going to be nobody in comparison.
It's so
Uh-huh.
pathetic, but it's also so typical for early high school. You know.
Uh-huh. Mhm.
So yeah, he doesn't know how to beat him in life. So basketball and being shitty to him is the
Right.
only thing he knows what to do.
Yeah.
Mhm. Mhm.
So that's what he's doing, and that's what you perceive.
Mhm.
By looking
Yeah.
through him.
Um,
And if you now do something in relation to this, using this information, you have a +1 to your roll.
Mhm.
Right. So you have a little bit of an advantage in whatever you do next that is relevant, or you can just do something else, whatever.
Sure.
Um,
Just a second. I'm going to turn on the lights because it's getting darker now.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The darkness.
Of course, it's getting darker.
Um,
So what are you going to do?
I think that what I can do to help in this situation,
Hmm.
and considering that just fouling someone is not something that requires helping the one being fouled, what I will do is but move in a really highly accelerated manner and push Steven towards Shiva, but not push to throw, just like I don't know, this is romantic almost. You know, this stupid push from the back that someone thinks that, oh, my destiny, I have to do something now. So it's a slight push towards her or he.
But
Yeah,
you are visible.
I am. I have to be visible. Fuck.
You can be visible and still push him.
No, the
Well,
thing
that's a
is that
little strange. I mean, this is a big
I build my
basketball.
character as becoming invisible only when I don't want to be visible. And in that case, it's not that I don't want to be visible. I just want to do it without imposing myself as a helper. I want to help, but I don't want people to think, I'm helping now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you want to
What I will
wait
do,
until they are off the court and just near each other, and then you can do it a little later? Just take your
I mean,
time and pick the right moment.
if you want to do it now, I mean, what is your intention here? You want them to kind of
something
realize
like giving the hand to bring Shiva up. Like this is something we do in basketball. Like when you hit someone, especially when your goal is not really to hit, like kill. Usually you pretend that you're a good person, and you try to.
You're just acting like it's some
Yeah.
accident.
Yeah. Ideally, you mean it, that you really give your hand, but
sure.
yeah.
But what is your intention here? What do you want to get out of the situation?
My intention is to kind of help Steven chill, like to, let's say, to have another view, like to not just see a symbol of danger or of a future he cannot have, but to see, I don't know, a simple character who plays basketball with, or maybe they will compete in other sports and then they're in the same age.
Okay.
In a way, what I want
Can I
to do
ask for
is,
something?
yeah,
Sure.
I think I need to know what your character literally does.
Yes.
That we're
I
spending
think,
too much
yeah.
time in these abstract
Yeah, sure.
head spaces, and
yeah,
I don't care about the
Because-
psychology. I don't care about any of that.
Yeah.
I just want to know what
Because
you do.
we need to see your character.
Right.
What
And
has
doing
happened
something.
in the scene.
Yeah.
Because I'm watching it from the sideline and I want to know how this plays
What's it
out.
look like?
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
in
how
this
does it look like?
situation, I will do. I wouldn't do anything. I would want to do, but I wouldn't.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
because I just can't. I don't. I
Right.
cannot allow myself to be seen like participating in such a public space.
Sure.
So obvious manner.
In that case, basically, you don't do anything. You allow this to happen, which is that Shiva gets ridiculed by Steven. Of course, Steven does the thing of sorry, and gestures to help him, and Shiva doesn't take his hand. He
He
stands
knew it
up.
was a bad one. Yeah.
Yeah. And like, yeah, Shiva's really cool, and Steven is smiling with satisfaction. He's getting this one,
Mhm.
and he has the ball now, so now his team goes.
There's more than one way to score
Yes.
in sports.
So yeah, for now this continues, and you watch from the sidelines, and in the meantime, Dagny. Dagny, you were going to the your practice, your hockey, hockey practice, field hockey. Okay.
Yeah.
I forgot to send you guys some pictures of field hockey. I did a little search.
I know how it
It's
looks.
like it's like the it's like the Celtic savages against the Romans. You know, I mean, it's
Yeah. And
okay.
you have like a walking crane with you.
That's right. Yes. Um, okay.
So yeah,
Yes, I don't have special plans there. I
mm,
have special plans for later.
so we can go to that. I think that's always more
Yeah.
interesting.
I will only
So
describe if we have a quick, like, quick montage of the field hockey. That she is an aggressive player, and it's
mm,
almost
Mhm.
more about the thrill, right? It's all about the thrill of getting in there and losing herself in the
yeah,
excess. At least one person has to do a quick duck. You know,
Mhm.
um,
and I imagine today especially you are
right?
probably
Oh yeah, yeah. And what's weird again is that you'd think that someone like that is really like into the team spirit and stuff, the crazy one on the team, and everyone loves her, that kind of thing. That's very typical.
mhm,
But anytime someone tries to do that, she doesn't notice.
yeah,
So it's a little strange, right? So that's all I have to say about that.
sure.
Um,
So later after that, where do we see you?
I think that she's going to be now she's going to live. I think I said she lives off campus,
Hmm.
right? Now I don't know exactly what her home situation is because that's a little strange to imagine in my head right now. I might have to think about that later. Um, but she's very independent, so she's going to go down to the seaside town where there's all these beautiful little shops and things like that, and these long beaches. And people go to those beaches. They're very, very off of the roads, very natural beaches, long miles of kilometers and kilometers of these rocky places, and people light fires and stuff like that. This is during the week, so there's not that much happening.
Hmm.
But she's just going to go walking up and down the beaches. Um, and she still has her hockey stick. Um, and she's looking for somebody, maybe having a party there. It's not that likely on a weeknight.
Mm.
But she's going to go to all the places where people light campfires and stuff like that, one by one
Sh-
by one.
Sure. I think
I should
tonight.
say something you should know in this area. I don't know.
Uh-huh.
We are just being inspired by the area. We are not really
Mhm.
right, but still, it's kind of unusual, especially at this area. There are different communities that come to these beaches, and some of them are some pretty tough guys in pickup trucks. Ranchers
Mhm.
and people like that. Their sons and daughters who are a tough crowd.
Mm.
So it's a little strange. I'm talking about all this little boutique kind of life, but you can turn around and there's a redneck with cowboy boots who's ready to teach
I
you a
mean, yeah,
lesson with his
South America
sticks.
is all the
Yeah.
same. Like
Well,
that's
I'm sorry. I'm sorry to say that in this particular case, you're not far wrong. but um, so just letting you know that you have a lot of interesting culture to work with. It's not, it's kind of strange that way. So maybe she's kind of looking. She's looking for somebody getting wild, but it's not working out.
sure.
It's not working
Um,
out. Or maybe it's up to you, but that's what she's doing, and she'll spend some time. Um,
sure. I think tonight, as you said, like normal students' party are just not happening.
right, no students for sure. Yeah.
But what you do find is kind of a trailer park full of yeah, like trailer,
Like a campground where people come.
yeah, like
Right.
when they have this kind of moving house,
Yes. Hmm.
a trailer, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
We've you guys are going to laugh. The marketing term is mobile home.
Yes,
Well, what?
that, but
But they,
it's not just that. They also have uh, very big machines
Right.
that, since it's dark, it takes you like a little bit to figure out that it's just like some kind of fair,
Right.
like one of those place. There are one of those people that go from town to town, and they set up the Ferris wheel,
Right.
the
Yes.
Ferris
Yes.
wheel and
Okay.
all that.
Sure. So yeah,
Uh,
I could. Yeah. Yeah. It wouldn't be on the beaches. It would be on the other side of the highway because in California you cannot build or do things like that on the
yeah,
beaches.
they're not
But on
like
the other
setting
side,
it.
yeah.
They're not setting it here. They're just like traveling to somewhere else.
Okay. Sure. Sure. All right. So
Uh,
so I'll see them. And so this is more than one vehicle, maybe a lot.
a few. Yeah, they have a couple of bonfires, and
Right.
see people
Right.
going around.
Right.
There's a little bit of everything. There's mostly adults, but you see like some kid going around as well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And this seems to be their night off.
Right.
So they are having like not like a full blown out party, but they're having fun, drinking, telling stories, that kind of stuff.
She is going to, as you might imagine, if we are there around one of the fires and people are, you know what they have? They have a keg of beer through
Of
the
course they
Mhm.
do.
into the plastic cups, and
Yeah.
so, but these are all people who know each other and work together and stuff like that. So it's pretty
Yes.
relaxed, I guess, right? They might
Yeah.
be playing some classic rock and roll. I'm thinking Tom Petty or Foreigner or something like that, right? And so they're listening to that, and but if you look, then you realize that just outside of the light, she's just standing there. She's just standing there, and she's got her she's it's Sandberg school, so she's got the Sandberg, almost probably even like the sports shirt from hockey,
Mm.
that you can wear casually. So she's wearing that, and she and she's just kind of standing there, just out of the light, and bit by bit, just comes in, and so the next time a guy is going to, like, squirt some beer into a cup, it's her cup. And everybody, I mean, people right there might realize, wow, this is some girl we don't know, some teenager. She doesn't look too old.
Yeah.
You know
One.
what will happen to you if you get caught, serving alcohol to a minor these days? It's pretty
Mm.
bad.
So yeah,
So,
one of the guys, an old guy with a long beard, white, gray beard. He goes to pour some beer, and he sees you. He's like, "Oh, hey there! Didn't see you there. Uh,
mhm.
you lost?
She says, "Oh no, I'm right here." Says, it's and ready to have a good time.
You from the area?"
And she kind of looks around, and says, "Sort of."
That's that's one of those fancy schools from around here, right?
And oh yeah, yeah. And she says, and she actually tosses up her hockey stick, which was not all that evident before, catches it in the air and says, "Hockey girl."
See, should you not be, I don't know, studying or sleeping or something? Why are you out here? Out here? What are you doing out here?
And she, at this point, you'd think that she would say something really charming, right, and friendly, and relaxing to him or something like that. And she doesn't. She doesn't. She disconnects and
Connects
gestures
with the.
vaguely at him, like, thanks for the beer. It's only half full because he stopped, right? And just sort of gestures the beer at him, kind of a
Uh,
thanks gesture, turns and, walks to go talk to somebody else, maybe, or stand near someone else. He's not much fun.
yeah, yeah. This guy is definitely too old. He keeps staring at you with, but he doesn't say anything. And then you see them, the young people from this. This was the old geezers listening to old music, but of course there's some younger
A
people
little
with by
further
that
over there, yes.
we
Yes.
by which I mean like 27 or so around.
Ooh,
No,
perfect.
like yeah,
Perfect.
the oldest one is like 30 something.
Oh,
And they look at you, and there's like a few guys, a few girls, and they're having fun. They're drinking and telling stories, and one of the girls look at you and like, "Hey, sweetie, who are
uh-huh.
you?"
And I've got my cup, so of course I belong.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Haven't seen you before.
Mhm. And she doesn't answer and just like knocks back some beer and comes up to them and just using body language, swaying a little bit, but not really being very clear.
Mhm.
Seems like she fits in a bit. They will
Sure.
notice, of course, I'm like the old guy, that she doesn't really. She's obviously this prep school girl, and if somebody says something about that, she just
I think, of course, they notice,
right.
but it's not that they don't care. They are not. They are interested in you, so
Right,
they are not going to
right,
tell you go back to your school
right,
or anything
right.
like
I
that.
get that, yes. But and so when a certain amount of that interaction occurs, though, she will say, um, you know, one thing about a school like that, maybe we may not even say something. She'll just say, after a while, one thing about a school like Sandberg, and now it's
Mm.
really dark, and she'll say, you can get nearly anything you can imagine there. She says, who feels a little,
Um,
and she kind of looks and says, who feels a little dangerous? The
and
swimming
a
pool.
guy, a young guy, who has like a vest and a ponytail, and it smiles at you and says, "Ooh,
Uh-huh.
what do you have in mind?"
And so she's going to take a little envelope. She'll get a little away from the others, take the little envelope and shake it, and says, I want to go swimming. Now, this water is freezing fucking cold. And it is rough surf. It hits the rocks and sprays up 20 feet in the air. And it is also, that's the continental shelf. It drops straight off. That's one of the shark feeding grounds of the world,
Mm.
right there.
I will
So
say that the
every so
combination of
often, pretty often, they find a piece of a surfer. So
yeah.
Or two pieces.
yeah, that actually happens. So
Um, could
but
we,
we're going swimming.
sure. Could it be that the combination of drugs and that invitation to swim in the middle of the night? Are you turning him on?
You know what? I'm not.
Hmm.
Unless he says no, then I'll do it. But
I should remind that if you think it's not happening, that's okay. But it could happen even if you are not doing it on purpose.
I see what you mean. Well, in this case, it has to do with me describing my death to him, to use that move, to if I want to go all the way with that. And I don't think I'm going to do that. And
Sure.
so no, I am talking about this specifically for the thrills. he may get the wrong
but
idea, but I'm not influencing that. Somebody watching it would, again, it's a little strange. I am promising, I'm promising something else.
Sure, I think he gets that.
Yeah.
He gets that you are not interested in that kind of thing.
Well, I might be, but I'm not saying so right now. We will see.
Just a clarification. Like, yes, your character doesn't need to be trying to turn someone on. They could just look really good, be beautiful around someone, and do that even if they are not trying. But in this case, we can move on. And I think the guy gets that. Yeah, you're looking for having fun and getting into some trouble. And he's
there's no way on this earth that there's not a sexual undertone in at least his mind. That's I think is going to have to be there. But let's just say that's not really where my body language and behavior is going right now.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's like, sure, baby, we can do that.
Right. Excellent, because we just have to get over the highway and go down some rocky trails and get to the sand out there, which is full of dead seaweed, and the water is the waves are coming in and out, in and out. It's fall, so there's strong tides, and so it's the middle of the night. I mean, this is pretty dramatic. There are no lights out there. This is natural coastline. They don't light up the coastline, right? So it's dark, and
the surface of the water is all deep black, only interrupted by the occasional wave.
That's exactly right. Exactly right. But even as she gets onto the sand, and like the jersey comes off, and she actually rams the hockey stick down into the sand, so it stands there, and so the way down to the surf is littered by clothes. But of course it's pitch dark, so all he can get is he knows that she's stripping, but there's no really clear display.
And just to clarify, this invitation was just for him, right?
Correct.
Sure. So yeah, he's running behind you. He's taking his clothes off as well.
Okay. So we are going to go swimming. Now, I'm not going to... The hunger is for thrills.
Yeah.
Right? So she is capable of swimming out there, and, but she's not going to be careful for his safety.
Of course she's not. He's running behind you, and he's like, hey, honey, what do you have those nice things you promised me?
Right. She gets out into the water.
Yeah.
And so she's up to the middle of her thighs when she turns around, and she's holding the drugs right there.
Yeah, he comes towards you.
Mm-hmm. Now, so what this is it's got to be cocaine. That's the kind of the hard drug of choice at the school.
Okay.
And so and so she's going to tap out some, and basically just very carelessly, both her nose and her mouth, just like that, and so and then almost drop the envelope as he's reaching for it. So he actually has to make some effort to keep the rest of this incredibly expensive stuff from going into the ocean.
Yeah. He's desperate. You notice that he's not the first time. He at least probably not this good, but he has taken before.
So
so yeah, he takes it as well.
Great. So kids, don't try this at home.
Okay.
Just a message.
Sure, good idea.
So anyway, I don't know if you want to stop there and talk about it later. Tell me if this is worth a move of some kind or something like that.
Well,
I mean, I have a question, because I don't know how you manage Spotlight usually here. Do you do it, or should we break you or something like that?
I'm ready to finish there. I don't mean to last this long in the scene.
Yeah, I think no, I was thinking of stopping. The spotlight. I usually like try to switch between each one, but you can also be like run and tell me like, hey, I want you to do this.
Yeah.
GM, come here.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is night now.
Hmm.
Everyone is sleeping for the most part.
Okay. Can I?
Yeah, sure.
Because just after like I feel like let's say hour ago or so, before maybe night even fall, when I was praying, I like was so focused on like press that I forgot that I need to go to the town. So I stood up and tried to run there, basically, or like take some kind of communication. I don't know what is there, like because there is a shop I wanted to visit there.
What kind of shop? Tell me.
It's like a bookshop, but with specifically for comics books. And I really wanted to buy something that came up today. So after school, I should go there immediately, but I forgot. So I'm in town, let's say, because the shop was closed. So let's say it's like late evening, let's say, and I'm in town. I don't know what happened. The shop was closed. I didn't manage. I'm a little bit angry on myself that I didn't manage. I forgot to go here.
Sure. So yeah, I think we see you in front of the closed shop. You came too late, and it's already closed. And I guess we see you kind of wandering around town.
Yeah, just like a few peeks, through the glass. Like there's no one there even to like knock. So yeah, I'm like walking casually, trying maybe to spot something interesting, like to sketch. Like I like to practice with the, let's say, night lights. Yeah, like the people around, like also interesting. But I'm like using shadows most, like not fully shadows, like not back alleys, but like I'm not like coming to people like in front of them asking.
And I think while you are wandering around, you hear some voices, not too loud, but you have a really acute hearing.
Yeah.
So you can hear them in one of the alleys, on the back alleys. You hear a couple of voices talking to each other. One that seems very angry and imposing, and the other that actually sounds familiar. You recognize the voice of Richmond, the rich kid from school.
The basketball player, yeah?
No, this one is
the dealer.
Yeah, the dealer.
Bastard.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm walking like past this like alley, but I try to look what's going on there. Maybe there's something interesting to catch, like scene in my mind, to some inspiration.
Sure. And just spot this image of basically Richmond is against the wall, almost with his hands up, like to try to see.
How much of the kid meltdown did you hear?
Not much.
Not much.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So one of them had a big fit. So
Sure.
So coming back to different kind of teenage drama.
Yeah, my kids are 9, 10, and 10.
So yeah, we were with Peter wandering around town, and he has just heard Richmond being harassed or discussing something with someone in an alley. He's peeking around to see like Richmond against a wall, like being pushed against a wall by a figure, a female-looking figure. It's kind of dark and it's not illuminated, although you can see pretty well in the dark, I imagine. So yeah, she appears to be a woman, an adult woman. Hard to say, 20 something, 30 something. Very beautiful, blonde hair, and pretty tall and imposing as well. She has him against the wall with a single hand, and she's saying something like, "You're missing on your payments. I don't like that." And he's like, I promise you, I'll give you the money. I'll get money from my father. I'll pay to you what I owe you.
Okay. I don't think I care too much about this.
Sure. I would imagine.
I noticed this, like, I try to, like, okay, that's what's happening here, and I'm walking past the alley, like. Like if I just stopped at the entrance, yeah, and saw this. That's right.
Sure.
Right? So I'm just like stop, watch, like she said that, and I continue walking along the way.
One thing that may catch your attention is that she answers like, "Yeah, that's not going to cut it. I'm going to need something more for you." And then something happens, which at first it may surprise you because you were not expecting it to happen. But you see her leaning towards him closer and closer, and basically beating into his neck, just like you would do.
Ooh. Okay.
But if you want to go, you can. Like,
I'm running right now.
Running away?
Yeah, I'm running. Yeah, like I don't know who this lady is. And she's obviously a similar kind of me.
Yeah.
I don't want to deal with that. I kind of try to avoid that. So,
sure. So you're running away. There's a movement for that.
Yeah, I know. So I try to basically run, say, towards to probably catch something to get to home, get to dormitory. Let's say I sleep in dormitory.
Sure.
Let's see. Oh, pretty good. It's for volatile, yeah.
Yeah.
It's 8.
8.
Mm-hmm.
You get away, but you have to choose one. You either run into something worse, cause a bigger scene, or leave something behind.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I'm running kind of blindly for now, so I probably run into something worse.
Worse than that?
Brave.
Good luck.
Yeah.
You're a brave warrior.
Good luck on him.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm like throwing you my best punch, and you're like, yeah, no, not good enough. Something worse. Oh, well, of course.
Mm-hmm.
You run into the rev.
To the?
Into the rev. Yeah, the reverend.
Chaplain Woody.
Oh yeah. He like you're running away, not really looking where you are going, and you cross a street, and you're trying to get out of town.
Yeah, like out of there to the school site, let's say. Mm-hmm.
And you basically
I might be going through the woods. between me and school. If it's close enough.
Sure. I think so. You're going into the woods. Try to.
Let's say, yeah, sure. Why not? Maybe
Sure.
hide there.
So yeah, like you're running to the woods, trying to leave her behind.
Mm-hmm.
You hear this noise, this chanting
Whoa. Okay.
of several voices singing with a deep voice in some kind of unknown language, even to you.
Mm-hmm.
And you see this fire, this light coming from the from in front of you.
Yeah, okay, like in the middle of the woods, yeah, like there's a fire, like light
Like a bonfire.
Yeah. Okay.
And around it, there's a number of figures that, of course, are cloaked in dark, in black.
Mm-hmm.
And in the middle of them, there's a body.
So
A
it's
naked.
not just the Zen priests Tuesday night meeting.
No, that's the other. They are.
That's they're down
No.
the street.
Yeah, there would.
Yeah.
Yeah, the other woods.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So yeah, there's a dead body, basically in the middle of the circle.
Okay.
It seems to be a young man.
Can I smell blood?
Yes, but it's not recent. He doesn't seem to be recently deceased.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then you feel, a hand that takes you by your shoulder,
Okay.
and it's the Reverend.
Okay, I try. Like I see him. Like I turn around and see him.
Yes, absolutely. He's just there, like like in a school, smiling with this beatifical face of him, face of you. Well. May this be destiny.
And I said, like, well, what's the meaning?
No, we'll let you know more.
I don't know. Is this some kind of witchcraft?
No, of course not. We are not on the side of the devil, but we stand by God. We do His will. Would you like to see?
And I'm like thinking, it's safer to see to sell myself.
Possibly.
Okay, so I'm just trying to avoid his stare, and like I'm shaking head, like, okay, Father. If the gods lead you, then it's not for me to judge.
Follow me and watch. I think he will say, bear witness.
Mm-hmm.
He brought you into the circle.
Okay.
And
I'm
he
like,
leaves you. Yeah.
I'm making a cross sign on my chest.
And now you do notice that all of them have the symbol of the cross in their cloaks, and in the ground where the body is. There's a cross drawn in the ground.
Mm-hmm.
and
Okay.
the reverend leaves you kind of on the side to observe all of this
Mhm.
and see and
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. So I'm like when he leaves me, I'm falling on my knees and I'm I start to like pray to understand. I'm searching for words from like some higher like God or yeah God. That I'm Orthodox, so from God, because I see this as like some kind of if this is like what what should be done, I'm looking for answers in like spirits, let's say.
Absolutely. I think you are gazing to the abyss.
Yeah, that's true.
One thing I would like to describe is kind of the
Hmm.
ritual. So you
Okay,
kind of
sure.
like I see this kind of thing, part of the experience of watching all of this.
Hmm.
This like this puts you in contact with whatever else is there. And
Hmm.
the ritual basically is this guy, the Reverend, um, steps into the center of the circle with the body
Hmm.
and takes calice,
Chalice. Yeah. Yeah.
chalice.
Yeah.
He starts to say something to bless it almost, and he hears the body and he pours the liquid in the chalice into the mouth of the body, and you can see
Hmm.
that it's blood. It is
Hmm.
holy blood, and when he do this, you start to see how the color starts to get back into this body, starting from the mouth. The kind of life starts to come back into the body,
Hmm.
extending little by little until the person this body wakes up, takes
Hmm.
a long breath and wakes
Hmm.
up. Yeah, he comes back to life.
Okay.
The body comes back to life,
Hmm.
and I think this is where through all of this you have this mystical
Yeah,
experience.
I still want to do that because
Sure,
this
sure,
is
sure.
like
This is the perfect moment with
yeah.
this ritual happening and this connection with the divine. You are
Hmm.
very much guessing into the abyss.
Hmm.
Let's see if it looks back.
It's 3.
Oh yes. Oh
At
yes.
last, he's been so cool this whole time.
It's dark, yeah? Yeah, it is.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I don't think it's 7
I have 4. I can do.
Huh. Yes. You do feel the presence of the divine,
Hmm.
of this force that is above you and outside of you,
Hmm.
but it's not what you expect.
Okay.
You expect this luminous, holy, angels with trumpets theme, and
Yeah.
instead you see this kind of mountain, this impossible height, this impossible size, just and their presence is so. This person is hovering above you, is bigger than you, is something you cannot understand, that you cannot relate with,
Hmm.
and in some way, it looks back at you and takes hold of you, and you feel like
It grabs me, yeah?
not
Oh,
physically,
okay.
but you feel like tendrils reach into your mind, into your very heart,
Yeah.
and grab it, and it wants you to do their bidding. And I think
Wow.
I'm going to trigger your darker self.
Sure.
Darker self. Yes, perfect. Everyone is your pawn, your plaything. You hurt them and make them vulnerable for sport, like a cat does with a mouse. Maybe you'll even drain them dry. So you'll certainly take your time first.
Hmm.
So all these things of trying to behave like a human, trying to to pretend you are normal, not hurt
Hmm.
anyone, you don't feel that need
Gone.
anymore.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hmm.
Can
Okay.
be escaped when you are put in your rightful place by someone more powerful than you. Again,
Hmm.
I guess.
Okay, so let me just ask you, did I felt that this figure that emerged was generated by this ritual, or it was just like from somewhere else?
It, it, it was
It
related.
answered your prayers.
It very much did. It is not like a physical figure that appear. It's more
Yeah,
like
but
a
mhm,
yeah. It
okay.
was related to it. That's for
Mhm,
sure. Uh, this was
okay.
the god they were praying to. You don't.
Mhm,
You're not sure if that's the one you were praying to, but that's the one you
It's the one
got.
you got.
mhm. That's the
Yes.
one I get. Okay. Um,
And I
I'm
think
like
I'm going to like hard frame you that
sure.
basically you don't the next time you wake up and you are into this form, you are not here, you are not in you're probably back into the school.
Okay. Okay, that's
Uh,
fine.
I just
but
want to
we'll
know
see
because
you.
I want to know what Oleg. I want to know what Petter does.
Yeah,
Yeah, I can do something.
let's say
Because we can break here and you can move to, but
True.
maybe I can continue from here, like when we get back or
Right.
yeah,
whatever.
Right. Okay.
okay, sure.
So,
So yeah, we see
because I
you.
want to know what Alastor right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want you to. I want to know as well. So Alastor, um, in this night, you don't really sleep, as far as I know. You are all alone by yourself
Mhm.
to wander around the school, to see without being seen. What are you going to do?
When you were saying Piotr's story or Petr's story, I was thinking that it will be great to be behind the wall where Steven is being held. It would be really nice if I can be the invisible hand, like stopping the head from biting his neck.
Sure.
Ah,
Uh,
okay. Oh,
Going to
Ah,
yeah,
protect
that's
him. Yeah. Yeah. I like this.
yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
I like this.
I mean, you obviously follow him from
Action.
school. Yes.
let's say that I read some messages, like
Sure.
some
You.
papers that
It,
he was
yeah.
receiving.
You don't
Sure.
even
You.
have to. You're a ghost, man. You found out.
Yeah. You
We
know
don't care.
stuff.
Yeah. We don't know.
Yeah.
We don't care how you did this.
So yeah, we see this was reaching into Richmond to bite him.
Yeah.
And then what is that you do?
Say it again.
What it
What do
is
you
that you
do?
do?
What did you do?
So I like she cannot see anything, but she can feel something stopping her, like forehead from going. Like you want to do this, but you can't because there is something physical, but there is nothing physical.
Hmm.
So it's like I just
Um,
stop the biting.
Yeah,
sure,
you went through the wall and tried to stop her. Yeah.
Yeah.
sure. So yeah, you put your hand to stop her, and she feels this pressure, and she's not sure where it's coming from. So she says, "What is this? What are you doing? What are you doing to me?" And she's getting angrier and angrier.
Towards Richmond, I guess, right? Because I am not there to be seen.
Yes.
I mean, I am, but I'm not.
Yeah.
That she feels so.
And he's like, I'm not doing anything, I promise. And she's going. Now, before she was going to just bite him and take some blood and be done with it, but now she thinks he's a threat of some kind, so she's going to attack him. So yeah, she's going to launch for him.
Full vampire lunge.
Yes,
Right.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
And is there something you want to do? This time, just getting in the way is not going to be enough. You are going to have to
You gotta
do
fight him,
something
man.
about her. Yeah.
I definitely want to help, but at the same time, I don't want to be seen there.
Okay. May I make a
This is like-
suggestion to you?
Yes.
This is a vampire. This whole not be seen, anonymous, I do this, I do
Yeah.
that, nobody sees me, no nothing. Who cares?
What do you mean? Who cares?
Yeah, who cares? Don't worry about this being, I mean, you can do it your way, but I'm saying don't worry about being seen. It's not like there's a whole bunch of reporters down there with cameras or something like that.
No. It's not being seen as that way. It's like
But who cares if she sees you? Just do what you are going to do.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, if you want to avoid being seen, like, it's the main thing you want to. Okay, but you were like addressed that she will hurt him in some way.
Yeah.
That's Angel is making clear she's going to hurt him.
Yeah, he's going to
you
die.
are not
probably.
Casper the Invisible Ghost.
Yeah.
You have to do something if you want to do something.
And you're not useless. You are a ghost. You have powers.
I guess I'm saying it's, feel free to be seen. We don't mind. They don't, nothing.
Okay, you know what I will do?
Yeah.
I will take off her eyes.
Sure. Oh, so she cannot see you.
She cannot see anything. Like it's really aggressive.
Yeah, but the side effects, she won't see you. Works. Yeah.
Is that going aggro? I mean, what is the name of the move in this game?
Lash out physically. And I think it very much is.
Yeah.
So you're going to take her eyes out. Roll with volatile. So roll your 2 dices. Yep. And add whatever you have in volatile.
3 and 5.
Okay.
7.
I have -1.
Good. You have a 7, which is better than a 6.
Yes. So I think you. I don't think you can completely blind her completely. But you at least you take an eye out, and the other is not that good either. So right now she is blind. She's like screaming, like full vampire screeching a scream. Ah! But you have to choose one.
Okay.
Which is they can either learn something about your true nature and gain a strain of view on you, or the MC, that's me, decides how bad the harm turns out, or you become your darker self. Yeah, this one is pretty rough.
This is a little bit of game mechanics, so maybe you could help a bit.
Yeah, you you can either choose that she learns something about you, that I get to decide how bad she's hurt, or you become your darker self. That's your 3 options.
Okay, just one question. The goal of protecting Richmond is achieved?
I think it really is, yeah.
Partial success, and Angel will decide what that means.
So in that case, I would, let's say, be eaten by my darkest self.
Shit.
What does that mean for a ghost?
Ah,
I
haha.
become
see.
invisible, unnoticeable, but not in the way. eh, Just to explain something, when I say I don't like being visible, I don't mean I want to be invisible. I
Mm.
just want
Right.
to
You want to
be,
be
let's say,
anonymous.
isolated.
I understand.
Bravo. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
want to
Mhm.
be only the person I know that I am and not
We
nothing else.
understand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
understand.
So in that case, I comprehend this invisibility and unnoticeability as not being desired. Like we don't need you.
I
Yes.
completely
Mhm.
understand that. The worst
Mhm.
kind of anonymity.
Yeah,
Yes.
which is painful because I am somebody who like enjoys helping.
Right.
So it's like, what can I do to be
Yeah.
again
Yeah.
one of?
Yeah.
What does the
So
rule say? I'm sorry. I'm just interested.
sure.
Mhm.
You become invisible, unnoticeable. You
Mhm.
no one can see you, feel you, or hear your voice. You
Oof.
can still affect inanimate objects, but this is your only avenue of communication. You escape your darker self when someone acknowledges your presence and
Yeah,
demonstrates how much they want you around.
Oh,
yeah.
you know what? Dagny has a relationship with Alastor,
Mhm.
and I'd like to act on that later. I just want to let you know.
Sure,
Yeah, that's
Sure.
that. This is a great opportunity for me.
Yeah.
that sounds
Yeah,
great.
yeah.
But on the now,
For
I'm going
now,
to say,
yeah.
yeah, I'm going to say that this woman, yeah, your heart is bad and she's almost blind. So, and you like came out of nowhere. She could not see you well. She probably noticed that something supernatural is going on because
Mhm.
she's attuned to that. So yeah, she darts out of the alley, running very very fast, and
Mhm.
you and now you are alone with Richmond,
Mhm.
and now you're probably expecting him to see you and to thank you for your help, but he just looks around and say,
Oh,
Cannot
this
he
is
see.
seems
awful. You're
confused.
standing right there.
He goes literally through you.
Right.
He goes through you. He doesn't see you. He doesn't feel you. He doesn't care at all about you. He just goes out into the night and he leaves you completely alone.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It was a planned decision to be like that. It is painful, uh, but I don't know. If it was somebody else, I would be desperate to be recognized and acknowledged.
Mhm.
But because it's just him, and I don't know, he's a drug
Just
dealer.
him.
Uh, it is simply painful. It's like, I don't know. Maybe I will hide inside the building, or whatever this building was, where I was when I put my hand out.
Mhm.
Maybe I will. Maybe I would spend the night there if this is okay for the game.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yes. Yeah.
this like an apartment house, and
Uh-huh.
I'm seeing you, and you can tell me otherwise, but I'm seeing you going around, and there's people in their beds sleeping, and you just go around and notice and seeing. No one wakes up, no one notices you, and you're like just going around completely unable to communicate with anyone
Mhm. Mhm.
Oh,
for the
oh,
whole night.
yeah. Leave him there to
Yes,
suffer.
Fair.
Yeah.
leave you there to suffer. How are we doing on time? I'm really bad with that kind of stuff.
It's 10.
Yeah.
It's 10.
And
Mm.
so I could keep going a little while. I kind of like what we have done, but I'm willing to stop. I don't need to go forever and ever. Whatever you think.
Mhm.
I have more time. It's just I know, and especially because for me it's like an hour sooner.
Right.
So,
Yeah. Yeah.
how do you want to continue a little bit more, or are you all okay with that?
Yeah, sure. We can
Can I?
continue
Let's
for
do
Can
at
less
I?
least
time.
one more roll.
Yeah. Can I? Can I?
I'm curious.
Yeah. He's liking the dice, guys. We have converted him. Starting
Yes.
to. Ooh, can I roll some more dice? I like this dice thing. Yes.
Let's
Let's. I have a request.
Sure.
I'd like to review all of our strings on each other and our backstories.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of important, and I think we are maybe forgetting it a little bit.
Yes.
Yes.
Or rather, I know I am forgetting it a little bit.
Yeah. Probably me as well. And also, well, you haven't interacted much. So,
but we could
yeah.
have. And
Yes, yes, that is true.
So let's see.
That's looking.
So to review, I know that everybody finds Petter beautiful, but that's not a personal relationship. It's almost a little bit of a barrier, if anything. But he has a string on each of us.
Okay, yeah,
Right.
that's right.
You have a string on each of us because of that.
Mhm.
And then I think I know how Alastor died.
Mm-hmm.
I think I actually know how he died, and but we have not revealed that in play yet. So I'm trying to find my sheet where I had all my little arrows and numbers. But of course, I'm trying to hold dice at the same time for no reason, and that's just causing me trouble. So there must be, somebody needs a vocabulary for all of these terrible little things we do at the table that get us into trouble, like stacking dice and things like that. So
So maybe everyone would say,
The strengths they have.
yeah,
Sure.
because
here we are. Okay.
Yeah, I would like to know who has strings on me too,
Okay.
because I forgot.
You have let's see. I believe you have given 2 to
Alastor.
yes.
Yeah, that's that I remember. But I was curious if I missed like someone else giving me like the getting strings on me. I think not. I think I only have like I have strings or on Dagny and Alastor, and Alastor have 2 strings on me. So
And I think
that would
that's all.
be
Yes.
my sheet of strings.
Right.
Let's say.
Whereas I have given a string to Petter. I have also given a string to Alastor for some reason.
Mhm.
And I have 2 strings from Alastor for some reason. So our characters are strongly tied.
Mhm.
But I'd like to remember why. I think the 2 from Alastor that I hold 2 strings from Alastor because I know how he died.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
so.
I think so
and I
too.
know the other one too. Alastor reminds me that love exists.
Interesting.
Right. So actually, Dagny's very. I'm going to say that maybe tomorrow is a big realizing day for Dagny. Maybe tomorrow is the day when she realizes, she learns about all this. So that so okay, yes, that's important because we have done nothing with it. So and that also explains why she didn't do anything when Petter came into the church. She doesn't know about him. She doesn't care about him. He's a little bit. She feels
She only
maybe that
know how he looks.
he could push her a little farther than she wants to go just because he's so gorgeous, So she just went right past him. So that makes some sense. What about so that explains a little bit. You gave me 2 strings because I know how you died, and you gave 1 to Petter because he is so beautiful. And then I think you also have a string from Naomi because you influenced her last time.
You turn her on. You
Right.
turn her on.
Yes, and I also think that you give 2 strings to Petter for some reason. At least I have that here.
Yes, this is what I have. I
Yeah.
have 2 strings to Petter, not 1.
Well, you get one. Well, the get and the give can get me a little bit turned around when I talk this way. So sometimes I think at the real table we really ought to have strings and colors and actually give them, physically, so that you don't keep saying, "Well, I hold," but wait, does that mean I give or what?
Yeah.
So so maybe you could
No,
explain it.
I think he took string on me because he watched me in my bedroom or
That's
something
right.
like that.
Yeah, that's right. He
yeah.
watched you sleep, you creepy little ghost. So Yeah, you watched him
Yeah,
sleep,
so
and so you
he
have
gets
strings.
one on me.
You have strings
Yeah.
on him. So
Mhm.
a good way to put it is you have psychological power over that person. I
I
have
have, you
psychological
have,
power over you. You have psychological power over Petter. Petter has a little
yeah,
bit on both of us.
I remember
yeah, that's
that
right.
I protected Peter from
Right,
eating
right,
someone.
right. That's it.
Yeah, but
Yes.
Yeah,
that was I chose you,
Yes.
right.
but then you chose me to get string on me from the bedroom.
Right.
Yeah, so
Mm,
you
yeah.
should have
Yeah, you
three on
guys have
me.
a pretty complicated relationship so far.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Saving each other, watching each other sleep.
right,
Yeah.
like
right. I could even suggest that the reason that you were there for Richmond is that you had been following Petter, and that's when you caught
Ah.
up to him. He was gone already, but that you had been in that area because Petter was in the area. That makes
yeah,
some sense.
maybe
Does
you
Alastor,
saw
does that
this
make
too
sense?
as I did, and then to
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, it's his character, though. I mean, we
Yeah.
all think it
yeah,
makes sense, but
it's making for
you
him.
know. So anyway, I just wanted to review some of that so we remember what we have to
Okay,
work with.
that's fine.
And I have one more
Sure.
question because I am being a gamer, which
Huh.
is that I want to know. I have the move satiety, so when I satisfy my hunger, I get something.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
so, what's my list for what I get? I want my cash and prizes. What do I get?
Sure. Sure. You did satisfy your hunger. Your hunger, pretty much.
I worked hard on that.
Yeah. Yeah. No, not the hollow. The ghoul. Ghoul. Or do I have the ghoul? Ghoul moves. There we go. The hunger when you're in.
No, satiety.
Yeah,
It's
satiety,
satiety.
not the hunger.
Society. Oh, okay, yeah. When you satiate a hunger, choose one. Heal one harm, mark experience, take one forward.
Experience.
So you're choosing.
Nice.
Yeah.
By the way,
Of course.
so I should have reminded you. Every time you fail, and you
Yes.
fail a few times, you take experience.
Okay, I didn't fail this time. I failed last
Me
time.
too.
Yeah, like every
Yeah,
time you fail
Yeah.
anyone.
Right.
but 6 minus is a failure.
Right.
Yes.
Right. So,
So
No
I
one
had
failed.
one last time, and then I got the satiety this time. So I have 2 experience.
Mhm.
Sure.
That's right. That's what I remember too.
So
I
yeah,
have only one.
hmm
One
Let's
more
do
scene.
it.
one more thing.
Yeah.
Each one.
Sure.
Could
Or at least one, let's say.
mhm.
Um,
How does Alastor recover from his darker self again? What is the phrase exactly?
When
Because
someone
it's
acknowledges your presence and demonstrates how much they want you around.
I
yes.
see. Got it. Got it. Okay. Okay.
Mhm.
So, cool. Just I need to have that in my head. Uh, I'm kind of interested in what Petter does back there at the creepy Satanist ceremony,
So
or did,
I
if we don't watch
yeah,
it.
Mhm.
I'm.
I know
I
Okay.
mean,
what will try to do.
if you want to do something, we could play. But I was thinking maybe leave it there for now and not know exactly what went down there, and especially because maybe you don't remember all of it.
Oh, I'm disappointed. I want clues, at least.
Yeah, I took more that I want to play my darker self there too,
Okay.
because now
Too
I
bad,
was like,
Angel. We want no veil for
Okay.
you.
I want to
Okay.
blow your ritual. Come
You are getting off the rails again.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Let's do this.
Yeah.
So yeah, been in the presence of the divine, and the divine was not what you expected. It has cleansed you. It has cleansed you of human emotion. It has left you empty.
Mhm.
But in the meantime, a miracle has taken place. A man has been brought to death. vehicles. But yeah, there's this whole this group of people. The chantings go to the maximum, and then they stop. And this guy like wakes up, takes a deep breath, and he's alive again.
Mhm. Okay, I'm standing up. I'm walking really like slowly and surely towards the chaplain,
Yeah.
and I say, Father, can you introduce me to the man you just wake up from that?
Well, yes, of course.
That's
In
what I
fact,
want.
yeah. In fact, it is strange you don't recognize him. I suppose he's not very noticeable, but he's one of your fellow students.
Ah,
Oh, I usually do not notice people around me. Can
He's
you
fine.
remind me?
Oh, his name was give me a name. Real William William
Barrows.
Barrows.
Sure.
And maybe now that he's not dead and kind of
Now I recognize.
at this place, the kind of face you have seen around in but I don't I don't know if you have had relationship with him at all. He
Just a glimpse.
Yes, he says he's fine. In his past life, he was nobody. He was no one. Now he is something different.
What is he, Father? Please teach me. What is this power? Is this really the God? I felt him.
Have you felt his presence?
I felt it really clearly. Please tell me, Father, how to do this ritual. It's really interesting. I look him straight into his eyes.
He says, if you want to know our ways, first you'll have to become one of us.
You don't understand, Father. I really want to know.
I am not asking.
Yeah. Spooky vampire powers. Okay. Let me see, how does that move work?
On 10 plus, I roll with hot, and on 10 plus, they do exactly what I wish and have no idea anything is wrong. On 7 plus, I need to choose.
Sure.
And they cannot have strings on me, so
I don't think he has. So yeah, do it. You do your spooky
Fascinating.
thing.
You have a mechanical reason in this game to shed yourself of strings as much as you can, except
Yeah.
for who you choose. Yeah.
and I like okay, yeah, that's right. Okay, I'm going. He's doing exactly what I want.
Oh,
I have 13.
Great. A really good roll.
Holy moly.
Yeah. Nice number. Indeed he is. He says, yes, yes, my child. I shall teach you the ways. I'll teach you. We have been doing this for a long time. Students with no future, with no purpose, taking them and their protection and giving them a new life to serve God, to fulfill their will.
We will see who will they serve. And I'm Come on, father. The night is still young, and 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 I'm going with him wherever he leads me.
I think he obviously leads you back to school.
Maybe he said he will teach me
Oh yeah, he will.
someday.
Although I would say that
I take a look if I can recognize someone there. Is there someone like, or are they completely like hooded, And
mm, I
because
would,
maybe
yeah, I think they are.
yeah. Okay, so I
No,
said,
yeah. At least they will not let you see their faces on purpose.
mhm.
Yeah. But yeah, the father, the priest is all yours. Like right now, he's under your command, more or less.
Mhm. Okay. And I said, Father, can you please introduce me to your flock? Flock? Yeah. Flock.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know if this is your command. Hypnotism it works, but it has limits. But he's going to teach you the ways. That is true.
Okay.
So yeah, I think he says, well, I'm going to say that he's going to tell you, but also taking in account the other people around him are not hypnotized.
I know.
The-
I'm aware of that. I'm just interested and I will react to that.
Sure. You'll be pleased to know that the headmaster of the school is among us. And you see that a figure that steps forward and says, "What are you saying, father? What is wrong with you? You should not share those secrets with this boy."
Prince Headmaster, please don't be afraid.
She takes a she takes a knife out of her cloak, and when she does that, all the others do the same.
Oh,
Okay.
robes, knives, cultists.
I cannot I cannot help myself.
Yeah, that's cool. This is all right.
Do you want me to leave you a moment to think?
Yeah. Give me a moment.
Sure.
That's a good cliffhanger for you, actually.
Yeah.
Sure. In the meantime,
But can I ask, do you know, I mean, can you say what, okay, knives, but do we have like intentions or something in there?
She expressed like, "What are you doing?" And she
So it's like
pulled a
showing.
knife from her robes. That's what I see.
yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, Dagny, you are back in school, I imagine. I don't
Can we
think.
go to the next day?
Sure.
Yeah, we might have to go back in time to see what happens or see the effects or something, but of Petra's situation. But can we be in school the next day?
Yes, absolutely. And we don't like again. It's one of those things we don't really know what happened with the other guy. We don't care. You are done with him. So.
Oh yeah. Oh, I completely agree. So I'm going to be in the assembly. And the same thing we did the previous morning.
And
Can we
I'm
be at
going
the
to
assembly?
say sure. And I imagine, Alastor, did you go back to school eventually?
Yes, like hope to be again one of the others.
Right. So I'm going to can I take it from here?
Sure. Okay.
I'm going to be uh sitting in my assembly seat, and right in the middle of the assembly, after the for some reason I suppose the headmaster is not there, or maybe we would leave that as a mystery for the moment.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
so I'm going to, in the middle of assembly, stand up and say, like right out in the middle of nowhere, in front of everybody, and look around and say, "Hey, where's that kid? Where's that? Where is he? He's always here, sitting right there." And
Like,
uh,
yeah, everyone turns to look at you and they're like, what the hell is he talking about?
and I'll say, "That autistic kid or whatever he is." Oh, sorry, Spectrum. And then I'll and you know, I can be sarcastic occasionally, and so
Sure.
then I'll walk actually right over to where Alastor always sits, right, with his little hood down, where he's allowed to sit because he is on the spectrum,
Mhm.
and I'm going to wave my arms around and say, right here. I'll even look at Naomi. I'll look over at Naomi and say, you know, um, don't you care? Don't you even care? You were just talking to him yesterday.
I think you
You know
look at
what?
her
I'm
and
going
say,
to. I want to roll against Naomi. That stuck up, obnoxious,
uh,
popular.
I think you are shutting her down. You're like,
I'm going to definitely decrease her status if I can.
yeah,
Right, and that's
yeah,
with cold.
Yeah,
Is that
because
right?
she was talking to him. Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's with cold. I think.
Wow.
Right.
yeah.
So, oh, my total is a 4.
That was
So,
So,
Mark experience.
uh-huh. And you can tell me what happens. Go to town, whatever you'd like.
Took me a while to remember what that expression means.
Weirdo.
Um, I think she. I mean, it's obvious thing for other store, but she's not going to let you go around questioning her. So she stands up and she says, "Well, who the fuck cares about that kid, and more importantly, about whatever you think? What, who do you think you are? You are nobody. What are you accusing me of?"
I'm going to sit down right where Alistor sits. She crushes me. Just crushes me. Because I look and every single person, I think, is looking at me just the same way she is.
Yeah,
Right?
and I think she says, I think you of everyone here, you're the only one who cares, and no one cares about you."
I'm going to sit down completely like where he sits down. And I'm going to say, he's the only nice kid in this whole school. And I will actually start crying. I'm actually this is Dagny just like breaks down and cries to herself, right?
And
She's not crying
she's
to anyone else. She's crying to herself.
she's going to put the last nail and say, "He was."
Oh,
Oh,
And she
right.
sits down.
You know what? And Dagny, that's perfect because Dagny will suddenly like look up with tears coming out of her eyes and like she
And I
gets
think
it.
I'm going
She
to put
gets
a
it.
condition on
He's
you.
dead. He's dead. She knew he's a ghost. She gets it. On the other
Yeah.
hand, maybe she looks up and now he's standing right there with her.
Yeah. First, I'm going to put a condition on you.
Yeah.
What would be a good expression of ridiculous? Like, are you? I'm not good with words in
That's
English.
okay. That's fine. I mean, what's the word in Spanish?
Ridiculous. Like I'm not sure what would be the best expression. You're ridiculous. Are you?
Are you isolated socially? Is that what you mean? Everybody is going to shut her out?
Yeah, I think that would be a good way.
Ostracized.
Ostracized is great. Yeah. So yeah,
Or like
take that
what
condition.
condition?
Uh, uh,
Okay.
um,
But do I
yeah,
get him out of his darker self?
uh, I think so.
I have acknowledged him. I
Mm.
recognize him for who he is. That's what I'm trying to do.
I think you
She
do. I
showed
think you
that
do.
she needs me to be there. Yeah.
What's
Ah,
that?
okay.
I think you totally do because you have knowledge that you have no one else
Right.
and
Right.
that you need
Yeah.
him to not be alone.
Exactly.
Uh,
Yeah.
and so yeah, I think standing in a corner or wherever you Alistair was, you suddenly see him flicker at first
Right.
and then
Right.
kind of take form.
Right. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And in the meantime, like everyone else has moved on, like they don't
Right.
care about you,
Right. Right.
any of you. So
Right. I should point out something a little depressing.
uh-huh.
Sudden breakdowns are not unknown at the school. The pressure is very high, and so
Yeah.
occasional eccentricities occur. The place is kind of quirky.
So yeah, but yeah, you see him and Alastor, you see her looking at you, like actually seeing you.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah.
Do you do something? What do you do?
Um, okay. If it was yesterday, I would do nothing because it's today and I was desperate to get. I don't know if I can do it, but I would like to go and sit next without saying anything, just to sit.
Perfect. In fact, I'll go ahead and just lean my head a little bit against yours. Not much, just a little bit.
This will be scary, but yeah, the idea is to be next. Preferably, I would like to be on the side of the wall.
Mm-hmm.
True.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Okay. I like that. I like that a lot. Yeah.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
it's like a recognition and
Sure.
like public recognition. Thank you for doing it. And also something like
Companionship. Yeah.
I'm thinking not companionship. I'm thinking something like breaking the ice, but not between us. The ice between me and the outside world.
Mm-hmm.
Mm. And I
I
think
agree. We will see the effects as we continue to play.
yeah,
Yeah.
one thing we do see now is that Naomi, who was actually like not caring at you, not minding you at all. When she sees this, you can see like jealousy and anger in her face, like she was pretending she does care about you, but she's even more angry with uh,
Mhm.
with uh, with
Oh,
Dagny now.
that's okay. There are plenty of ways to get thrills.
Yep. And I think I think for now, I just want to see maybe like the last thing for today,
Mm-hmm.
which is Peter.
Okay. I
Yeah,
know
here it comes.
again. I have some pretty, hard choices to do here. Okay. So as they pull out knives, yeah.
Yeah, I think the
Ah,
headmaster. Now that she is like reveal, she takes off her mask and she says, "Well, you didn't quite work out this life. Maybe in the next one you'll be better."
and I say, cannot you see that the the power speaks through me and through Father? That's why he revealed this. He also see this in me, as I see it in him. I saw the power, as I see you right now.
And
Believe me, I will not
oh,
Is this a
I-
put
movie?
this in danger.
really.
So
Things move you can do here. That's the kind of game this is. There's like reasoning and being nice.
I don't know. I'm just doing that.
That's
Yeah, it doesn't. There's not a whole lot of room in Monster Hearts for being decent, like making sense
Yeah.
to another person.
jet.
Yeah,
Jet.
exactly. We spoke about that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think she says, "Oh, I do believe you. You saw him, and by the end of the night, you'll see him even closer, and then she's going to go to you. She's going to attack you."
But let me just clarify, because I think there is
Sorry.
a move for what I did.
What is it? Which one?
I think it's keep your cool. Because when you keep your cool and act despite fear, name what you are afraid of. I'm afraid of these people, and roll call. That's the trigger for this move. I was acting despite of fear.
Okay.
To do something to cool them down.
Mhm.
I don't know.
I don't know if it'll cool them down or not.
That's the
We'll stay cool.
This is it's for you to judge if this should be something that might be persuasive, and I am, cool enough to address it properly. That I am saying. This move is everywhere in PBTA, like something similar.
Yeah, that's the thing with this game.
Though.
It is not here on purpose.
It's just my suggestion. If you say no, then you're the I can go with whatever you're coming. It was suggestion. I don't know. I first time playing this, so that's why I had this idea.
It's an interesting game. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go.
So yes, he's going to attack you, and the others as well.
So how this looks?
Oh, she's going to stab you in your. She's going to literally just stab you, and the others are going to stab you as well. And then you do something like you are a vampire. You are a powerful vampire. You have vampire powers.
Sure.
So
when I see that my speech didn't work, I just shout at them, "Stop!" by looking at them all, let's say, or at least the leader. So I'm assuming it's
the headmaster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I tried to hypnotize her. Come on.
Did you try to?
Again.
He's going to try to hypnotize the headmaster.
Yeah, like looking her into the eyes and said, "Stop!" Like very order her to stop.
Another thing you could do is that, that's the thing. She's just one person. A group is attacking you.
Okay, I'm doing
but
that. I'm counting that maybe they will. She's stopping.
But what I was thinking, I was saying is that you are maybe imposing them. You are maybe intimidating them because you are a fucking scary vampire, which they didn't know.
Okay, sure. I scream. Yeah. Okay. What do you say then?
Yeah, I think that's what I was saying.
Okay. I see it too.
Okay, so you roll with cold. Basically, to clarify, he's like, "Stop!" and he's shutting them down.
Yeah.
With
okay,
I have
ridiculous moves rolls today. I have 11.
That makes sense. You are like a fucking scary vampire.
It could have gone the other way. I mean, he could have been like forced to run away or something like that, or even take some harm. Nothing wrong with taking a little harm once in a while, but
nothing bad about that.
Yeah, but yeah, it went this way. What happens?
You choose one from below, and I think they are very intimidated. I think all this time they were like, "Oh, this is just like a some random kid from the school, whatever."
Mhm.
And now they're like,
He
"Oh my
speaks with the
god,
voice
what?"
of God now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So you can choose that they lose a string on you if they had them, which in this case they don't. If they don't have a strings on you, you
Mhm.
gain a one or you get, like terrified or something like that.
Mhm.
Or
Mhm.
you take one forward to your next roll.
Mhm. Okay, so I have two options because I have cold as ice as a vampire, so I have
Ooh.
additional option
Nice.
when 7+ hits, so it's 7+.
Fun.
So if I would give him condition, what would that be? Because I wanted to like feel them, like show myself as a dominant, like an
Yeah,
alpha.
you just
Yeah.
said it. They are dominated.
Dominated would be
Yeah. So that would be the condition.
sure.
And can I get a string on them as a group so I can spend them on any of them?
So your move allows you to get to choose an
Yeah.
additional option.
Yeah, that's right. It's when you shut someone down and roll higher, should
I think it's more fun if you get it on the headmaster because the other guys
okay, that's fine.
they don't have names, so we don't really care about them.
Okay, I don't know who they are still. Okay, so I want them terrified and I want string on headmaster.
Sure. Sure. At some point, I have to figure out what was the name. I think we said it at some point, but
I'm not sure if we ever said the headmaster's name, but we'll
Hmm.
come
We
to
didn't.
it. So I guess
yeah.
that means I do see her the next morning, considering
yeah.
she's not like drained of blood in a ditch somewhere.
So I
whatever.
think the last scene we see is that she stops, and all of them stops,
Mhm.
and she looks at you like in awe and terror, and she drops the knife,
Mhm.
and she kneels before you, and
Mhm.
and
Okay,
all of them follow them, and they all
that's fine. That's
think-
where we can stop.
That's enough. That's enough for you. Okay.
Yeah, the night can finish like this. I have some strings and
Yeah, that
some
sounds fun.
people terrified. Okay.
Let me just take note.
So the condition is kind of I don't know.
What was the exact word?
Dominated.
Dominated, yeah.
Ooh.
Dominated. Mechanically, the conditions basically characters gain conditions, and any other character can take advantage of them. So, and you get a +1 to your roll.
But it
against
must be in a fiction. Might be
Yeah.
put
You do
in
something
fiction.
that works with
Yeah.
the domination, and then you will get
That's
a
right.
+1.
Yeah. So like maybe next time you tell me like. With these guys next time maybe you don't even need to roll, or you have that +1.
No, he just reminds them a little bit.
Yeah,
that's right.
And if anybody wants to talk about death with the Rev, you'll get a +1. Right. So.
Yeah, that's
Cool.
right.
Oh yeah, that's true. And that's it. That's also important. Everyone can use them.
So you could have had a +1 on your roll against him earlier if you had.
Yeah, I should have told you that. I forgot about that.
Yeah, but we're still getting used to the conditions.
Yeah, I'm
throwing
sure.
around. I'm pretty sure we're going to have a pretty complicated profile of conditions on everybody sooner or later.
Yeah, and basically they go away when it makes sense.
Right.
Right.
Cool.
So yeah, is that?
I'll be reminding them.
Yeah.
As long as my darker self.
So is that a good way to a good moment to stop the session for today?
I think so.
Yeah, that's good. I think we have
Right.
we're safe places. So
well, if that's the right word. But thank you everybody. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, indeed.
Mhm.
Headmaster. Okay, stream.
Yeah, yes. That's the fun of the game. Just take notes of all the things I have on other people.
Yeah.
Um,
Thanks everyone.
good night,
Yeah.
everybody.
Thank you very
Thank you.
much.
Good
Good
night.
night.
Good night.
Cheers.